In today's episode, we're going over step-by-step how to make $15,000 in 30 days through wholesaling real estate. I've got my bald co-host, Brian Davila, here. How many wholesales have you done at this point?
I would say 200.
200 wholesales?
Yeah.
I don't know how many wholesales we've done. We've done at least 700 flips and wholesales.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're almost at 1,000, if not over 1,000 for sure.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. So wholesaling changed my life. Flipping houses changed my life.
Yep.
Our average fee right now is about $15,000 to $18,000 per deal. And so, the average deal takes about 30 days. So we just got to help people get a deal right now today if they want to make 15, 18K.
Yeah, I would say my average fee is 35,000 and change. That's like for sure.
Yeah. Because you guys are in California.
We're in Southern California. So yeah, the prices are a little bit higher. But yeah, 15K should be easy.
Okay. So let's just go over the basic concept of wholesaling for those who have never heard it, have no idea what it is. Flipping a house, which is how we both got started, is, you find a good deal, you find the money to buy it, you find the contractor to fix it up, you then fix it up, list it with a realtor on the market. A new buyer comes in, usually who's going to live in it. They do their inspections. They're expecting this nice, beautiful flip. And then, they end up buying it. And the whole process on average takes 4 to 6 months, give or take, right? In fast markets where things are hot, you can sell them quicker. When things have been really slow, like they have the last couple of years, they can take longer. Wholesaling cuts all of that out. Wholesaling basically is the first half of that where it's like, hey, we find a really good deal. But instead of finding, a private lender to fund it and a contractor to fix it up and a realtor to list it, we cut all that out. And then we just find an investor who's willing to pay us more for it, and we just sell them the contract. A lot of people don't really get that part of it. Like they think that there's a lot of shenanigans with the contract. Every time we do the webinars and stuff, people are always like, but what about the contract? What do people need to know about a wholesaling contract?
A wholesaling contract is probably the easiest contract in real estate. Because you're not dealing with realtor forms. So once you start dealing with realtor forms, your purchase agreement goes from 1 page to 12 pages.
Yeah.
So a wholesaler purchase agreement should be 1 to 3 pages. And then an assignment agreement should be half a page.
It's 1 page.
It's very, very, very short. It's very simple. You could find them online for free. You could ask ChatGPT right now to make you a purchase and an assignment agreement, or you could go to your local escrow and ask them if they have any contracts that you could see or use.
Yep. So a lot of times people are like, all right, well, okay, what about how much money do I need? How much do I got to put down? What if I can't find a buyer? All that stuff. So a few things to understand in the contract. Number one, okay, we have what's called due diligence. This is any contract period. And that's your time to do your inspections, look for buyers, everything, and back out with no harm, no foul. And so we always tell our students, we're like, hey, get at least 30 days due diligence. That gives you enough time to find a buyer, do everything you got to do, get people in the house to go look at it, all that good stuff. And if you can't find a buyer, then just simply back out. Exactly. No harm, no foul. The other aspect is earnest money deposit. And so this is how much money you put up to basically show good faith that you're going to do the transaction. There is no limit. I mean, I've seen people do $10 earnest money deposits. We do $100 in many cases. What do you guys do?
We do no dollars.
So. There you go.
Yeah, no, so we'll put a deposit of let's just say $1,000.
Yeah.
But we really won't place it until
you find a buyer.
If we're going to be able to sell it or not.
Right.
Yep.
Because you have time to put the earnest money deposit. Depending on your contract, it can say, hey, I've got a week to put the deposit down. We could have no timeline.
Yep.
Right. And so, yeah, we do the same thing where we won't put it down until we know it's a good deal. So we're not even wasting time trying to get money back.
Yep.
And all that. So you have earnest money deposit, you have due diligence. And then the other thing that trips people up is they're like, well, what if the seller and the buyer, why do they need me? Why can't they go together?
Well, that's why you have a purchase agreement. So once you have a purchase agreement, you have rights to buy that property. And if someone tries to go around you, you could file a moratorium on the property and they won't be able to sell it without your permission. So yeah, that's literally the whole point of the purchase agreement.
Yeah. I always just say, for simple terms, when you go into contract with a seller, okay, it's honestly, it's very one-sided. The buyer always usually has more rights than the seller,
Mhm.
right? And it's not just for wholesalers, it's for end buyers too, right? Whenever I'm flipping a house, the end buyer has due diligence. They have earnest money. They have rights to back out from inspection, from HOA, from clear title. They have so many ways they can back out. And the buyers really do hold the cards on whether or not they're going to buy the thing.
Mhm.
And so, you know, when we go into contract with a seller, we have all the cards of like, we're going to buy this thing, but we can back out and do a lot of different things that the seller can't. Like
Mhm.
a seller can't just back out and be like, you know what, I got a higher offer.
Nope, they can't.
No, because that's not in the contract.
Mhm.
And I explain it to people, and I'm like, imagine you were going to go buy your dream home, and all of a sudden, you're in escrow, you're getting inspections done, you're paying for loans and appraisals and all this stuff, and then like right before closing, the seller goes, "Hey, I actually got a new buyer
Mhm.
that's gonna, buy the house for a little bit more."
Yeah.
Like they can't do that. They will get sued by not just the buyer, but they'll get sued by realtors. They'll get sued by everybody because
Mhm.
now they're in breach of the contract.
Yeah, normally what sellers do, if they're going to try to cancel, they make up an excuse.
Right.
So they're never going to really come out and say, "Hey, I have a higher buyer." Sometimes they might, but usually they'll go, "Hey, I changed my mind. Can you send me a cancellation? I got a lot of stress right now." And then you'll see that it ends up selling to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's why you do have to make sure that if you release a seller from selling a property, you let them know that they're still under contract
Yeah.
and they can't just go sell it to someone else.
Right. So, long story short, contract wise, people always ask me about it, like, which isn't even the most important thing. The most important thing is figuring out how to find deals.
Yeah.
But they're so worried about the contracts. I always just address it out the gate. It's like the contract is easy. As a buyer, you have very little risk, and we don't worry about other people trying to go around us and stuff because the worst case is we're about to sue somebody, and we have the right to buy that property.
Another way to prevent someone going around you if you're assigning it, because I've had it happen, I'm sure you've had it happen before when you have buyers come look at the house, they try to talk to the seller. That is a real thing. The only way to really get around that is you have to physically be there whenever buyers are going to look at the house or ask the seller to leave. Or if there's a lockbox on the property, send the buyers when there's no one there.
Yeah.
Because buyers trying to get the deal is a real thing. That happens. That happens to us almost every other month where the buyer tries to cut us out of the deal, but you just have to prevent it by being there or educating your buyers and seller
Well,
before
we
this appointment.
wholesale virtually
Yeah.
nationwide.
Mhm.
So we're never there.
Yeah.
And I would say it actually doesn't happen to us that much because we go already set the expectations with both the buyer and the seller when we get them in there.
Yeah.
So with the seller, we say, hey, we got 3 buyers who are coming to look at the property. And, at this time, can
Mhm.
you just keep the house open from this time, leave, like you said, or
Mhm.
like, hey, if you're going to let them in, but don't talk to them. Just let them go walk in, take their pictures, do their thing, and then they'll be out.
Mhm.
And then with the buyers, it's the same thing. Hey, the seller's going to be there from this time. Don't talk to them. Just do your thing, take your pictures, and then let us know what your price is.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it's setting expectations. And I wouldn't worry about people going around you and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Even though it does happen, it's still rare. It's more rare that it happens than it
Yeah.
doesn't, right? Okay, so contract wise, we understand that. We understand the mechanics of wholesaling. Your average fee is $35K because you guys are in California. Ours is like 15 to 18 because we're, in all these random states. We'll get deals that are 5K. We'll get deals that are 30K,
Mhm.
The question becomes, okay, how do I first find a wholesale deal?
Mhm.
So let's go over the different ways, right? I always say there's 3 ways to get deals. There's the free method, there's inbound, and there's outbound. So let's talk about free method because you guys have been doing a lot of free stuff.
Yeah, we're all free. I would say the easiest way to find a wholesale deal is rather going on Zillow, Redfin, or on the MLS, looking for distressed properties that are listed for sale, making a lowball offer, getting the listing agent to represent you, get that property under contract, and then assigning that contract for a fee to an end buyer. That's the easiest. All you need is a phone, internet. That's it. No paid advertising, nothing.
I would say it's maybe easiest isn't the right word, but it's the simplest and cheapest.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, because at the end of the day, like there's so many people on the MLS, and you got to like make a lot of, like, how many offers do you got to make?
Let's say 100 offers.
So you make 100 a week to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
People just don't understand how much volume you got to do. And that's with your guys being talented.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're brand new and you suck.
If you're brand new and you suck, that's okay. Because the good news is if the property's listed for sale, that means the seller is actually motivated to sell.
Yeah.
And that means that there's a contact number that you could find for free on Zillow and Redfin. Call them, pitch them. You could sound like an idiot. We all do in the beginning.
Yeah.
Pitch them, fail, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. My point is you're going to have to just probably make 200 offers.
Maybe 500 offers.
Yeah.
But
because your skills aren't there yet.
But for people listening to this, how else are you going to go make $30,000 from thin air? There's literally, I don't know. I wish there was another way.
Yeah.
But I don't know any other ways.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an example of free. Outbound is when you are now reaching out to sellers who don't want you to reach out to them.
Yeah.
So this would be you cold calling, texting, door knocking. You guys have done all that before. We have too.
Of course. Yep. All of it.
Do you guys still do any of that anymore?
No. I want to, but we don't right now.
Why do you want to but don't?
I mean, honestly, because I'm lazy and I would have to hire people to do all that stuff. And right now our systems are good, but if I wanted bigger fees, like $60,000 to $100,000 profits on like assignments or flipping, direct to seller is the easiest way. And I would say the easiest way to get a deal, if let's just say my family was going to be in trouble if I didn't get a deal in the next 30 days, what I would do if I was going direct to seller, I would go to a local title or escrow company in my market. I would ask them for a list of all the distressed sellers in your market. That's notices of default, meaning they got a notice that they're late on their mortgage, or notice of sale, meaning their house is about to foreclose. You can get free data. I would cold call that data in one day. It doesn't take 5 days, take one day. The next day, I would drive to every single property after 5 o'clock, because most people work 9 to 5. I would knock on the door, leave a note, and pitch them and ask them if they want to sell. They're all going to say they don't want to sell. They're all going to say the same thing. They're like, no, I'm not in default. I don't want to sell XYZ. I would say, perfect. Just in case, seller, you do end up selling, who are you going to sell with? And then from there, you could figure out, do they want to list it or do they want to sell it to a cash buyer, which you could help them with?
Yeah. So we started doing cold calls and stuff back in 2018, stopped after a few years, and we did well. I mean, made great money. I had like 17 virtual assistants at one time.
Wow.
Doing calls all day, every day. And I got sued a few times for TCPA, and that's actually becoming more and more prevalent now because of ChatGPT and everything else.
Yep.
More and more people are suing people for TCPA now, most frivolous things. And, you're starting to just see more laws against cold calling because of AI and all that too. But, we just noticed the returns started to get really bad. It was great in the beginning for years. And then it's just like one day we looked at it and we're like, dude, we're managing, to your point, why you're lazy.
Yep.
You got to manage all these cold callers, make sure they're putting in their dials, make sure they're submitting leads. Like,
Training.
dude, train them.
Yeah.
And then you got to pay them. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, Outbound cost a good chunk of change to really do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 99.9% of the sellers don't want you to talk to them.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm not a huge fan of Outbound anymore. It used to be great, in my opinion. We just don't do it. What we do now, and we've been doing for years across all my businesses, is inbound. So inbound is when people come to you wanting to do business with you. And so when I run ads for any business, right? It's like, okay, I got my M19 shirt on for golf. I run ads every day, thousands of dollars per day. People submit every day and they're like, I want to learn more about joining your golf group. It's way easier to deal with those people. versus if I just called random golfers across America and I'm like, hey, do you want to join this golf group? They're like, who are you? What is your golf? Like, what are you talking about? You know, like, but that's outbound versus inbound. They're all like, dude, I saw Ryan has this golf group and it's high income earners and they go on epic golf trips. Like, let's do that.
Yep.
And so it's different. And the same thing is true of motivated sellers. So, you know, you could do Google ads, you could do Facebook ads, YouTube ads,
mail,
direct mail. And in all those scenarios, the seller opts in. They say, hey, I want to learn more about getting an offer on my home.
Yes.
So they're showing motivation and you don't run the risk of lawsuits because they've opted in to hear from you. And so, yeah, I mean, across every business now, we only do inbound at this point. And it's just made life way easier because it's like, you could pull the default list and spend hours and hours in hiring salespeople and cold callers and all this crap. And it's like, it's actually cheaper to just run ads.
Yep. If you have money, then yes.
But you need money to do outbound anyways.
The way that I pitched it was free. Obviously, there are paid services that can make what I just said a lot easier, but you can do what I just said completely for free.
Right.
I guess you need gas money, but that's it.
And you need a dialer.
You don't even need a dialer. You could just use this.
I mean, it's
my first few years, I didn't have a dialer. I was around when Mojo first came out.
I don't even know.
OGs.
Are they still around?
I think they are.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember when cold calling with a dialer got big. I remember when text messaging, like mass text messaging just came out. But I started with just my phone. My phone would overheat. I would have it to my face. It probably wasn't good. And my phone would be hot.
I mean, that's how I had my first guy's cold call too. I just was like, here's a list. Have at it. They're like, okay. And they're just literally like.
Yeah. I remember back in the day at my old realtor's office at Berkshire Hathaway, they would have two phones in a list, and they would dial on one, put the phone right here, and then dial on the other one, put the phone right here.
They're double fisted?
They would double be fisted. Yes. It was crazy. I bet you if I walk into the office, there's some realtors still doing that. I guarantee it.
They don't even know what a dialer is.
Yeah. They just, I knew about dialers at that point, but they were just so glitchy that I was like, oh, this takes too much time. I'm just going to use my phone.
Well, you know, what's interesting now. So like for us, we run Facebook ads all across the country. And so like the ads are literally me right here in this background. And I'll do it right here for everyone. I'm like, hey, I want to buy your house. We'll give you a cash offer. You know, we'll buy any house as is. You don't have to repair anything. It could have a tenant. It could be stinky, smelly. It doesn't matter. We will give you a cash offer on your house right now. So click the link below, submit the form. Like many versions of that ad, thousands of versions I've done. And guess what? If somebody responds to that ad, I'm pretty sure they want to sell their house and get a cash offer.
Exactly.
You know, nobody just fills out that form for no reason.
Yep.
So for us anyways, it's so much more scalable and I get better salespeople too, because you're talking to way more motivated sellers.
Yep.
And unlike the MLS and Zillow, there's no middleman involved.
Yes.
So now we're direct to the seller. The seller's like, hey, I've been thinking about selling my home. I haven't made a decision how I'm going to do it yet. I'm not working with the realtor. I'm not, you know, what do you offer? If you offer me the right price, I'll sell.
100%.
And so like, that's been our bread and butter. I mean, we did TV commercials for years. Then we switched to, you know, now just fully on Facebook ads and haven't looked back.
Yeah. I think that's the easiest way to go once you have, how much money would you say you need?
This is what I tell the students now. So like at Wealthy Investor, we will literally do everything for you. And I would say to be successful, $2,000 a month is where you want to be.
Okay.
We can get you 100+ inbound leads a month, give you your softwares, give you one-on-one coaching, give you everything.
Yeah.
And so that's usually not the case with inbound though. In most inbound, if you were to like go try to hire an agency or use a pay-per-lead service or whatever.
Or $2K on mail is not going to do nothing.
No, $2K on mail would do nothing. Like you're going to have to spend at least, in my opinion, $5K a month.
Yep.
You agree?
A month.
Per month.
Yeah, per month. Not a month. Per month. You have to do it multiple months.
Okay, actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I forgot. When somebody's going to spend money on marketing, do they just do it 1 month and then like work their leads and then just like, what's the proper way to do it?
I would say 3 to 6 months minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah.
I tell people 6 months minimum. Like if you can't commit to spending, and I don't even call it spending, investing $2,000 a month minimum, then don't do it.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. Like the worst business owners are the ones who are like, oh yeah. Like I'll market for like this month or 2 months, see what I can get.
Yeah.
And then like when I close the deal, then I'll like reinvest. It don't work.
Nope.
You will just save your 2,000. You're wasting your money, everyone's time, everything.
Yeah.
Like imagine if we did this podcast every like 2 months.
Yeah.
We're like, hey,
we're going to see if this blows up.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to do a couple of episodes. I'm going to pay some editors and like, hopefully these episodes do good and we can, pay for the editors again in like 2 months.
Nope.
No.
Gotta film, see what worked, see what didn't work, test stuff.
Yep.
Try scripts, try different pitches.
Yeah. You
try different hours.
Yep. And that builds up. And that's what I tell people too. It's like, you got to get enough leads too. So it's like, it's hard to develop your sales skills when you talk to non-motivated people the whole time.
100%.
So it's like, if you're doing the outbound method and you're cold calling for, dude, like 3-4 hours a day.
Yep.
Right. How many people do you really think you'll get on the phone that are serious?
1 to 5 max.
Max.
Yeah.
So you get a couple people each day who are actually serious. So you're dialing for 4 hours, getting nothing but bull crap to have about 10 to 15 minutes of real conversation.
It's intense.
Bro.
It's kind of intense.
Well, it's hard to get good when you can't like have practice. So that's kind of my point with our system where I'm like, dude, you're going to get 100 plus at bats of inbound leads. And like, you'll text the 100 right then and there and 20, 30 of them right off the bat are like, yes, I'm interested. It's like, okay, your skills are going to get refined here pretty quickly.
Yep.
Because you're just talking to people who are actually serious.
Yeah, I kind of actually miss cold calling now that we're talking about it. Because I remember I would pull up to the office at like 7:30 and I would start cold calling and I would call the brand new expireds every single day. Brand new expireds, brand new FSBOs. So for sale by owners. So I'd be like, hey, this is Brian. I was calling to see if you were still interested in selling your house. Whatever they're going to say. I'm like, got it. I understand you probably don't want to sell anymore. But what had you interested in selling in the first place? Like, I just knew introduction, they're going to say no. Like, I already know they're going to say no.
Yeah.
And then, okay, what had you interested in selling in the first place? And then they're going to tell you some motivation. And then you dive into the motivation. It's the same thing with notices of default. It's like, hey, I understand you probably don't want to sell your house, but I saw that it's in foreclosure. Did you have any plans in case the property ends up needing to be sold?
Yeah.
And then just,
But that's the difference though about inbound because the conversation's way different.
Yeah.
When we call our leads, we're like, hey, I saw you wanted to sell your house. They're like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's way different.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, cool. How much do you want? That's literally because there's no price. It's not listed.
Yeah.
So
it depends on the lead because there are some leads that are going to give you a smoke screen.
Oh,
for sure. Oh, I was just kind of looking.
Yeah.
It's just like at a car dealership when people walk up and they're like, hey, how can I help you? And they're like, oh, I'm just looking. It's like no one goes to a car dealership unless they're going to buy something. It's the same with those leads. You just have to know.
Well, yeah, I would say majority are like, yeah, so what can you offer?
Yep.
And we'll be like, yeah, what do you want? But then, there are some like, oh, I didn't fill that out. And it's like, well, is your name, is this your address?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. I think you might have filled it out last night or something. Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. You got to get through that smoke screen.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between making $35,000 and making nothing.
Right.
It's you have to see every single scenario as a possible sale. So I always say like, it's very similar to like basketball. You're going to get some rebounds that hit the rim and they literally just fall in your lap. That's just going to happen. And then you're going to have some that hit the rim and try to go out of bounds and you got to go chase it.
Yeah.
And those are just as important as the ones that fall in your lap.
Yeah. We got a stat pad. We got to grab it before it goes out of bounds. Okay. So, there's lots of ways to get in front of these sellers. For anybody, like I said, if you can invest at least $2,000 a month, go to wealthyinvestor.com and we can literally give you the leads, do everything. You just got to get on the phone and talk to these sellers at that point. Hey, if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, then you need to use our Cashflow 2.0 system. We give you all the motivated seller leads. We give you software, one-on-one coaching, and everything you need to start your real estate investing business. And we've seen so much success from our students with this system that we are willing to guarantee it. So if you want to learn how it all works and how you can get your first real estate deal today, go on over to wealthyinvestor.com and apply. Someone from our team will get with you, and you could have your first deal within a week once you get on this system. So head on over to wealthyinvestor.com and we'll see you there. Now, you're talking to sellers, you're getting close on price, right? You're trying to just figure out what you could possibly sell it for, right? We use Wealthy Deals. It's a tool that we give our students that basically tells you what it's worth. But Zillow's also great. Like Zillow will just tell you what the market value is. And people like to hate on Zillow, but I don't know, from our experience, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, okay, if we know the house is say 500K, if they're telling me they want 450, I know I can't really wholesale this, right? But if we know we can get it sub 400, then we're like, okay, there's some potential here for a wholesale.
100%.
And, you know, we don't know the condition because we're talking to them on the phone. We don't really know what repairs it needs. But like, that's kind of our gauge as we start talking to them, because we'll be like, hey, how much you want for the house? And we're looking on Zillow or Wealthy Deals, and it's like, okay, the market value's 500K. There are some that are going for 550. There are some that are going for less, but the average is 500K, which would represent kind of an average home. And if the seller, like I said, is like, hey, I'd do 420, you know, maybe like 400. I'm like, okay, this has a lot of potential.
Yes.
How do you guys do it?
A lot of our stuff is just on the market.
Yeah, you're
so
already
we
doing
show
already
photos.
listed.
Yeah, so we see photos and stuff like that, but sometimes we get stuff that's like not on the market. Usually we just ask a lot of clarifying questions like, hey, like, you know, I see this house was built in 1976. Has it been updated since it was built?
Yeah.
If they say no, then I'm like, okay. If I ask them like, hey, is your roof leaking? And they say yes, that normally means the entire house is not going to be in good shape.
Right.
Like a normal person doesn't just have their roof sinking in, but they have a brand new kitchen.
Right.
So I always anticipate between like $45 a square foot in rehab without any major mechanicals. So I just do quick math on we use the same calculator as you.
Yeah.
Put that in, $45 a square foot, put the square footage in, and then that's how we guess what the rehab's going to be.
It's funny. I invented that calculator like 8 years ago when I first started, because there was no good one. I was just like, I'm going to just make one. I didn't even know how to use Excel. I just remember it took me so long. I was like,
you're like, how do I add these two squares?
I'm like, but I wanted to auto create this max offer. How do I do this?
And guys, this is before ChatGPT. This was pure skill.
This was pure skill. And then like same thing with my contractor's guide. I got so fed up with contractors. I'm like, I'm going to make this guide. And I stayed up all night on Microsoft Word making the freaking guide.
Now chat could do it in like 10 seconds.
But it's so funny because like all the students we've taught over the years, I still see them post about using the calculator to this day.
I've been at random offices and I'm like, oh, that's Ryan's calculator.
This calculator.
Yeah.
If you've seen a calculator on Google Sheets, it's probably mine.
Yeah.
If it's got
no
like
logo,
if it's color coded a little bit.
Yeah. No logo.
For sure
no
I invented
marketing skills, just pure
data and analytics. Okay, so yeah, you gotta understand what the properties are worth. That's where the calculator comes into play. And by the way, like if any of you guys want the calculator, these contracts, if you go to wealthyinvestor.com and just talk to the team, we will give it to you for free too. So just tell them, Ryan said on this video, you'd give me one for free. Just submit your info and we'll give you one for free. I don't have like a lead magnet because I don't.
Yeah, there's no follow-up, I promise you.
Yeah, like I just whatever.
No logo, no branding.
Yeah.
Just straight Excel.
We'll just give it to you. I literally had a guy DM me that the other day. He goes, dude, I bought your course like 7 years ago. I can't find the course anymore. I'm like, well, yeah, dude, that was on like Teachable or something like 7. He's like, dude, I'm trying to find the calculator. He's like, can you send me the calculator? I was like, yeah, here it is. But anyways, so, you know, you got to get an idea of what it's worth, right? Now, here's what I always tell our guys. I go, look, at the end of the day, odds are you're probably going to end up renegotiating anyways. And a lot of people are scared to renegotiate. And I always just say, look, I mean, if I look at every deal that I've even sold as a house flipper, they always renegotiate. There's always some level of renegotiation. They either say, I want all these repairs done. I want a repair credit. And this is on a perfectly flipped house.
The appraisal came
low. They always want something.
Yep.
And so for us on the front end, it's expected that there's going to be some level of renegotiation, especially if we've never seen the home. And so I always just tell the guys, I'm like, look, if it looks even remotely close to a deal, lock it up. That's our saying, lock it up. But also, like, set the seller up to let them, like, have clear expectations that a renegotiation's probably going to happen. So in this scenario, to give an example, let's say the seller's like, hey, I want, 420. And we know that Zillow and stuff is saying 500 plus. We're like, okay, like, you want 420? What kind of repairs, when's the last time you fixed it? Okay, it sounds like it's got some work that needs to be done and, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so, are you willing to take less than that? We'll always just see if they'll take less. And if they're like, no, I really want 420, we'll be like, well, okay, at that price, it's pretty close based on what you're telling me. Here's what we can do. We can go into contract and have some people come look at it. And if we can sell it at 420, great. If not, at least we'll know where we need to be. And we'll tell you where all these buyers are coming in at and everything else. And, then you have a choice. You can either take that offer or back out. Are you good with that? And they'll be like, yeah. Like, that sets us up transparently for a renegotiation. What I see a lot of bad wholesalers do when they talk to sellers is, first off, they lie about wholesaling. They say, oh, yeah, I'm the one buying it. Yeah. And then, like, they're sending these people in, and they're like, wait, I thought you were buying it. Who are these guys? It's my partner. It's my contractor. Yep. And they just start lying and stupid crap. We go into it nationwide, and we're like, hey, we're based in Las Vegas. Okay. We don't actually personally buy in Virginia. Okay. But we have buyers out there who do buy in Virginia, and it doesn't change your price at all. Whatever we tell you and whatever we agree to is the price, that buyer is going to be the one to pay us a little referral fee. That's how we explain it. And they're like, okay, whatever. And, like, that's it. Like, we'll even ask them the question sometimes. We'll say, hey, let me ask you real quick before we get in the offer, do you care who buys this property?
That's a good line.
Yeah. And then the seller will be like, no. We're like, okay, yeah, most don't, right? Because we just want to be transparent. Like, we're in Vegas, you're in Virginia. We work with a ton of buyers out there in Virginia and stuff, and they end up just kicking us a referral fee. But whatever we agree to is whatever we agree to, and we'll still cover all the closing costs and all that stuff, but they may be the ones who buy it.
Interesting.
And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of times newer wholesalers, they try to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, they get scared.
Yeah. It's like nobody gives a crap who actually buys the house.
As long as they're getting their price.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's a smooth transaction, they don't care.
Yep. So anyways, that's something to be aware of on that. So anyways, we lock it up and we set proper expectations that there more than likely might be a renegotiation. Once we lock it up, we have our contract, we do our thing, right? We now need to find buyers, right? How do you guys find buyers?
We use two platforms. So we use Investor Lift, and then we use there's another one. What the heck is it called? Investor Base. So we use Investor Base to find people that have purchased properties in the area, and then my dispo team is calling buyers every single day. And then we use Investor Lift to post our properties on there, and then buyers will inquire on the properties that we have posted.
Yep. So for us, we use Investor Lift and Wealthy Deals. So Wealthy Deals, once again, we give it to our students. I would say Wealthy Deals is very much like Investor Base. They're very similar. But basically, like, because so here, let me take a step back. We used to be like you guys, where it was like local markets. So you guys' local markets, pretty much Southern California.
All SoCal, yeah.
Ours was Vegas. And so, like, once you have a local market, you kind of like already know the top dogs.
Exactly.
So like in Vegas, we had 5 buyers and that was it. And it was just like the same 5 people are basically going to pay the most for this deal.
Yeah.
But once we went nationwide, we're going into brand new markets with no buyer pool.
Yeah.
No relationships or anything. And that used to be impossible until technology.
Yeah.
Now we know almost no buyers ever going into these deals. We lock it up. We go on Investor Lift. We go on Wealthy Deals. We pull the buyers in that market. Let's just say we're in Virginia or whatever, right? And then we're just like, okay, cool. Who are the top buyers for this? And both of them have AI components that will tell you, hey, we think that these are the top buyers for this specific property.
Yeah. And the crazy part is if you get a deal in like a major city, usually the top buyers buy literally everything.
Yeah.
Like
in a major city.
There's a buyer here. I don't know if you want to give them any clout, but there's a buyer here that just buys everything. In Vegas, they literally, it's like they buy almost.
They'll overpay more.
They'll literally overpay. They just overpay. If you get a deal, they're going to buy it. And it's so easy if you work in like big markets because you get these like Wedgwoods, these freaking monster
Massive
companies that just buy all your crap.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad deal, they still buy it. But yeah, that dispo could be easy if you're getting deals in like major cities. Once you start going nationwide, it gets a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. I would also say that this is what I've realized too. There is no perfect market because everyone would be like, oh, well, then let me just go to major cities.
Yeah.
The problem is getting deals in major cities.
Then it's reversed.
It's way harder.
Acquisitions gets way harder.
Your cost per lead is way higher.
Yep.
The competition's way higher.
Yep.
It's way harder to lock up the deal.
Fierce competition here in Vegas.
Yeah. But selling it.
Yeah. Selling it, easy. One call. You make 3 calls, you could sell a deal. You post it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
You're going to sell the deal for sure.
Yeah. But locking it up, really hard.
Super hard. Yeah.
Nationwide is inverse.
Yep.
Nationwide, locking it up is easy because you're in a lot more rural places and these sellers are like, yeah, dude, I've been trying to sell it, man. Like,
thank God you called me,
Brian. Bro, you are a lifesaver. Like, that's the conversation.
Yeah.
In Vegas, it's like, well, I'm talking to 10 people. What's your offer?
Yep. I remember I started cold calling one time in Memphis, Tennessee. So I had this brilliant idea. I don't know if I ever told you this. I was like, dude, I want to.
I would have probably told you it was dumb.
I know, but I did it anyway. So I started cold calling in Memphis, Tennessee. I promise you, every third person I spoke to wanted to sell. Like literally. In one day, I was like, bro, I got 18 leads. Like it was crazy. And I had one lady that was like, you could have it for free. I was like, holy sh! I hit the freaking jackpot. I was like, let me work on this. I'm like, I look it up. There's like a tree on the house. I'm like, okay. Ends up like the house is worth literally nothing. So like there's some markets easy to get a contract. Literally you can get a contract today, no hype, easy. But to sell those deals is nearly impossible. So
yeah,
you got to pick your hard.
Yeah, they're both hard regardless, right? My thing is just always, especially if you're new, in my opinion, nationwide's way better because I would rather you have 100 at bats developing your skills, talking to sellers, and having it easy to lock them up, and then having a harder time dispoing than the alternative, which is, oh, you only get 10 at bats.
Yep.
In a tough market, and you definitely are probably going to lose.
Yeah, or one at bat because it's freaking hard.
Yeah.
Vegas is like anytime we did some Vegas last year, we would show up to an appointment and there's like someone coming out when we're leaving. There's someone coming in. Like these sellers are getting pitched.
Yeah, Vegas is one of the hardest markets in the country.
Yep.
If not the hardest.
Because it's populated, but there's not a lot of distressed properties. And all the investors here are very sophisticated. Where if you go to like Louisville, for example, like the investors out there, they're not as intense as like, the Casey Ryans and all the guys here in Vegas that are really good.
You got a home.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we'll call you back tomorrow. I'm like, what? I'm trying to buy this deal. You can call me back tomorrow.
You city slicker?
Yeah.
So, what we do anyways is once we lock it up nationwide, we'll go on Wealthy Deals. We'll go on Investor Lift. We can post it. We can, just pull this list of, the top sellers that their AIs think and just start texting and calling. So that's what I teach the students. I'm like, look, you're going to get this list of inbound leads. Call and text those leads. Okay. Hit the low hanging fruit of the sellers who first respond back and then call through the rest, right? The same thing that happens in buyers. Okay. I got this list of buyers now. Call and text them. Hit the low hanging fruit of the buyers who respond back first because they're the most serious. If you can't sell it to one of those guys, keep calling through the list and find somebody. It's not rocket science. That's the thing with wholesale. It's the same process on both sides.
Yep.
We call the sellers, we try to lock it up. We then call the buyers and we try to get them to buy it.
Yeah. Real estate's like one of the most easiest industries to join and become successful with no license and no education.
Right.
So easy. I feel like dumber people are usually more successful in real estate than smarter people.
Because smart people overthink it.
Yeah, they overthink it. Like when we hire people, we hire the dumbest people at my company.
I'm going to go walk in and let them know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, seriously though. But like, I'm not saying like they're dumb, but like just people that just have hustle and they're not going to overthink the whole process and try to calculate all this math in their head. It's like, bro, just call. If they want to sell, make them a low offer.
Yeah. I had somebody post that in our school. They're like, can somebody give me the ratios of what they're seeing with this type of lead versus this type of lead?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're brand new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop. Okay. Call the leads.
Yeah.
Treat none of them different.
Yep.
Just call them all.
Yep.
Do not think, oh, I should probably focus my efforts on this type versus this. It's like,
no.
Just call them all.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And even though I called my employees dumb, I'm dumber than all of them. So I just want to make
these are facts.
These are facts.
You don't even realize they're probably smarter than you.
No, they are. They are smarter than me. I test their IQs.
Do you?
Yeah. And my IQ was actually lower than all of them. Lower than Justin, lower than Roy, lower than Kareem. Like me and...
What was your IQ?
I think we took the COG test. I was at like 140 or 150, something like that. Yeah.
No, that's not IQ though. You're talking the
like
predictive index.
Yeah, I was saying the predictive
test.
index. Yeah.
Yeah. Because IQ of 150, I think, is like a genius.
Okay.
But that's not IQ.
You know what's interesting? We can talk about it later. My son, Levi, he's really bad. He's not really bad. He's not as well as of a reader, but he's like super high on math. And then my daughter, super good at reading, not the best at math.
Right.
So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, we'll see as my kids get older what kind of tendencies they have. I scored high on everything.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
I'm Asian.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
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 So.
And I didn't go to high school, so.
Those things matter. I graduated college,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I also was an EMT.
Oh, wow.
Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Dude, I went to EMT school for... I don't want to make this like about random stuff, but I went to EMT school because the Oakland A's were paying for an extra semester. I had already graduated college and I still had one semester to go. And I'm like, well, I might as well. I'm thinking about becoming a firefighter. So let me like go mess around and go to EMT school because that's how you do it. So I passed the whole thing and I, get to the final certification and they're like, do you still want to be a firefighter? And I was like, no freaking chance after doing this. I spent 60 hours, doing live stuff. Like, I spent 12 hours in the ER. I watched people die.
That's scary.
I spent 12 hours delivering babies. I delivered like 5 babies.
Yeah.
I spent 12 hours with the firefighters. I spent 12 hours with somebody. Like,
what?
I was like, dude, this is not for me.
It's a great story because how much do you think those people make a year?
Not much.
Like, how much do you think?
At that time, I was trying to be a firefighter, and it was like, and this was a decade ago. They were making like 120, and they were like the top. Yeah. The normal EMTs, I think, were like 40, 50 grand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know some people that are EMTs and stuff like that, and they make like 5 to 6K a month.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
bro,
wow,
the job is hard.
I know, way harder than cold calling sellers or cold calling buyers. That's why when people and complain, I'm just like, bro, like, what job is easier?
Yeah,
go work outside,
and you could do it during your job.
Yeah, go work at a gas station. You're gonna be on your feet for 8 hours.
Yeah, working at McDonald's is hard.
Yeah, exactly. I worked at Sonic. I used to ride skates and I fell.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know you worked at Sonic.
Yeah, I did. I fell one time in front of everyone and I was like, dude, I gotta get out of
this. Yeah, double fisting cold calls is easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, perspective. Anyways, so you try and get buyers. You do what we talked about way earlier with now coordinating showings. The buyer and the seller. Obviously, you don't want them to talk and stuff, but they go out, look at the home. Buyers now are going to tell you their number. Ideally, if the number is already good and you have a spread, then you've got a wholesale. But if their number is less than what you have it under contract for, now it's time to renegotiate. As I say with the sellers, you got to set up for a renegotiation because it's most likely going to happen.
Yeah.
And sellers get more realistic about the real number once people have actually seen it. Because in the previous example, if I was like, let's just say I'm like, dude, you got to be at 390, not 420. They're like, well, I'm not taking 390. And now you never lock it up. They never see the property. The seller doesn't sell their home. Nothing good happens. But we say, you know what? We'll go into contract at 420. Let's get these people in and we'll figure out what it's really worth. So now all of a sudden, 3 people go look at it. And we go back to the seller and we're like, hey, and let's just say these seller or these buyers are at 400. Okay. We're like, look, they all looked at it. Okay. We got to be at 380. Like they said, this is going on. This is going on. I saw the pics of this. If you can take 380, the deal is done. And we'll close this thing in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the number is. Do you want to do it? And now it's like they have a tangible thing. They're that close to the finish line now because they know people seen it. This is the price. All they got to do is say yes to get their desired outcome. If they say no, we say, okay, well, what's your plan now? Because other people are going to have to come see this and they're going to be at the same prices. So what's your plan? And how much longer is it going to take? How many more people are you going to have to call? Like, we're ready to go right now at this price. I don't think anyone else is going to pay you above this price. And so renegotiation, heck, dude, it happens to us when we flip houses. I mean, these buyers, they inspect it, they do their deal, they come back with their price, and it's like, dude, we can close in 2 weeks and you're done. Yeah, you got to take 10 grand less, 20 grand less. I mean, we've had people reduce us 100 grand. And we're just like, all right, you know what? He's right. Like, the next buyer is going to want this fixed too. They're going to see this issue. Like, we got to just sell it.
Or think about contractors. How many times have you got a bid for 40K and they come back and renegotiate and say, hey,
change order.
Now it's 50K. You can't just be like, nah, just stick at 40. You could, but you
have to go find a new guy. And then is he going to do it at 40? Is he going to see the same thing?
Did that contractor see that extra work needed to be done when it gave you the original bid?
Right.
Probably. So renegotiations, it's not really, it's just, it's a typical thing in business. It happens every single day.
Yeah, for sure. So, once you get them to agree, okay, now we agree. We send the buyer an assignment agreement like we were talking about earlier, one page. In our assignment agreement, we're just like, we just send them the total price. So we're like, okay, you agree to buy it for 400 grand. They don't know the actual wholesale fee. They only see it at the very end. Once they sign it, now we know we're going to close escrow. So now the seller starts moving out. The buyer's working on their funding, whatever they're doing. Come close day, we get a settlement statement. The seller doesn't see what we're making in most cases. They just see, oh, I'm getting, $380K. All the closing costs are paid. Here's any back taxes that they owe and whatever. And then the buyer's now seeing it for the first time. Okay, it's 380 plus 20K, and then, they fund the deal.
Yeah. And I'm sure if your buyers are getting hard money, then they're probably seeing it earlier because most hard money lenders need to see the purchase agreement in order to fund the loan.
Right.
But yeah, on a cash deal, yeah. Last minute, they see it.
Yeah. And once the buyer sends the money and title does all their stuff, that's when you finally get paid. Because people ask, when do I get paid? Well, what happens is you reach the end point, seller moves out, buyer funds the deal, seller gets the 380K, buyer gets the property, you get 20K, title disperses all of that, and it's done.
100%.
That's it. That's wholesaling.
Easy.
In a nutshell.
Start right now.
Wealthyinvestor.com.
2026, get your first deal and let us know you watch this podcast.
I mean, here's my thing too. I see people all the time because would you agree it comes down to just the leads when you're first starting out?
Leads and tenacity, yeah.
Well, you got to call leads. Tenacity, if you don't have anyone to call.
Yeah.
You got to call people. So it's like, I've just seen more people get deals in their first 30 days than ever before because we give them 100 plus inbound leads right off the bat. So now they're talking to people, locking up deals within 30 days. And then at that point, usually you need 30 days to actually close the deal.
Yep.
But
all you got to do is call.
And you could close deals quicker. I mean, like if you locked up a deal, let's say your first 10 days, you could find a buyer who's going to close it here in 2 weeks.
100%. And usually people's first deals are normally the best. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I noticed a lot of people like their first deals are like great deals because they just don't know better.
Yeah.
So they offer low.
Yeah. Then they start getting over analytical and like, oh, these never going to take.
The 75%, all this crap. Just offer low. See where you negotiate, lock it up, pitch it to an investor.
That's
easy. The investor will tell you, hey, this is too high. I need it here.
Then go
You
renegotiate.
go back and renegotiate.
What percentage of your deals do you think you have to renegotiate?
Ours is not very high.
Okay, because you guys are on the MLS.
Yeah, we're on the MLS, so
you already see the pictures.
Yeah, we see the pictures. But I would say like renegotiating price drop, maybe like 10 to 20%.
What if you're direct to seller?
Direct to seller, it's higher because I would say like 50.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't see it up front. And then once we go see it, if it's bad, we're like, hey, this is like.
Yeah, at least 50% of ours are renegotiated.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually sellers will like miss.
And a renegotiation could be it could be $1,000. It could be $5, but that's a renegotiation.
Exactly. It could be close of escrow time. It could be a bunch of different things.
There's always pretty much some kind of addendum in renegotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Extending out due diligence, extending out whatever.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's wholesaling in a nutshell. As Brian said earlier, I don't know of any faster way. That's like we still do it 10 plus years later, and I still will continue to do it. Like I've done every business you can imagine, and I just don't know, to his point, how you can make $15,000, $35,000 literally out of thin air for just providing a service that like anybody can get started right now. So we'd love to help you out, a wealthy investor. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're going to like the next one as well. Peace.